Now we're going to move on to another story from this book, and it's entitled The Worst Dream of All. Now, it also plays back to that commercial that I played earlier from Time Life, the opener of it. Remember how it said a guy was going to get on a plane in Chicago, but decided not to?
Yeah.
Well, on page 36 of my great little book here, I'm just going to read you a couple sentences. In 1979, a man had a terrifying series of dreams. In his dreams, he saw a large airplane roll over slowly and crash to Earth.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. So it's in this little book for kids, mysterious things, no big deal. For kids. Oh yeah. This thing's funny. I can't even go into all this stuff for it. It's so funny. All the things in here, but I picked out 3. So I'm listening to this Time Life commercial today, and then I'm going through and choosing topics. And I'm like, is this the same story? Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's the same story. Now, here's the question that I had. Is this real? Like, is this a real story? Like a man was going to get on a plane and then he didn't, and then a plane crashed? Like that didn't happen, right? That didn't happen. Right. No, it's even worse than you think. Yes, it did happen. The man did have those dreams. Now, he was not a passenger. Actually, he lived in Cincinnati and he kept having a series of nightmares. His name is David Booth. 10 nights in a row, he had the same nightmare.
Okay.
So guess what he does? This shocked me. He calls the FAA and also American Airlines.
All right. Nobody makes phone calls anymore. They would have tweeted.
Right. Yeah. So this happened in 1979, as I said. And he kept having this dream and he took it very seriously. So what do you think the FAA did?
I would have thought they would have laughed him off the face of the earth.
Oh, just like David Lang?
Yeah.
No, actually, they took him seriously. They were very worried about it. They actually were able to figure out the type of plane. They had narrowed it down to a DC-10 or a Boeing 727.
And what eventually happened?
Well, what eventually happened is a flight going out of Chicago crashed and killed 272 passengers.
Oh,
yes, it was very sad for that man, very sad for the FAA people. What had actually happened is American Airlines had cut corners and when it came to maintenance to save money, and so part of the plane just fell off. So
I definitely prefer road trips these days.
That just sounds super traumatic.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, that's so traumatic. But guess what? It's not just traumatic. It's totally weird, and not just weird because it happened. It gets weirder.
No.
Yeah, it does. It does. So back in the 70s, there was a show called The Bionic Woman and also The Bionic Man. So
I remember.
Yeah. So
because it was on repeat, like reruns by the time I was old enough to watch.
Yeah, we were watching it in syndication. So Lindsay Wagner, who was the Bionic Woman, was supposed to board this plane in Chicago. While she was at the airport, she became sicker and sicker and sicker. And finally, she left the airport because she didn't want to get sick on the plane. And she says that once she left the airport, she immediately felt better.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
But no, that's not even the weirdest part of this.
I'm seriously like, I'm going to have to go into a cocoon and recover from all of this weirdness.
So also even weirder, is that this was flight number 191. Now, since the 1960s, 5 flights with the number 191 have crashed.
That is horrifying. And now I will be checking every flight number.
Yes. And some superstitious airlines have actually taken flight 191 off the record. And I don't know who those, are, right? I don't know if they
Wait, you didn't want to go that far down the rabbit hole?
I almost did go down that rabbit rabbit hole and I thought to myself, I need time to plot out the rest of this because there's even more on this. Yeah, Monica, it is definitely weird. And you know what? There are so many stories about people predicting tragedies. We're not going to go full on into that in this episode, but have you ever heard of the Mothman?
Yes.
Yeah, that's another famous one. And actually, there is a little rumor that Princess Diana had predicted her own death as well.